Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today I will help you to go from your Horus Heresy Age of Darkness box set to 2500 points, which is generally the normal sized game for a Horus Heresy match. Hey, a little message in between. So, we are trying to reach 1000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I would really appreciate if you would like, comment, and share the video with your friends who are maybe new to the Horus Heresy and would enjoy it. Thank you, and back to the video. So first of all, we talk a little bit about the box set. The box set is just awesome. It gives you 40 Marines, a Spartan, 10 Terminators, 2 HQs, and a Dreadnought. But it is a big initial investment. That's why I will tell you first what to build out of the box set so that you can paint that and build that, and until you are done with the box set you hopefully have saved a little bit of more money up to buy the units I tell you afterwards. Obviously not all at once, because we try to play our games painted here, so after a bit you buy the first unit and then the second and then the third maybe. Since this is a very generalist overview, the list will also be generalist. It will not include Legion specialist units and it will not include anything too specific. For example, if you are a World Eaters player, you obviously want to have the spoilers rather than tacticals, but I think this list I'm building with you now will give you a generalist feel for the game, and then you can specialize even harder afterwards with the units you buy. Obviously you can go for two different builds now. I will just do one, but the one thing is you want to get shooty with some tanks to deal with armor at range, and then you maybe want to get transports and dreads to get your to bash your enemy's head in at close. I will build a very middling army here. So for your HQs we are going with the Legion Praetor at 162 points. This is your general slashy HQ and he's the leader of your army. Basically every Astartes list in Horus Heresy has a Praetor. Some people play two Praetors, but I find that kind of odd. I don't like that, because the Praetor is like a chapter level commander. He can command up to 3,000 or 4,000 Astartes. So yeah, I don't think that you would find two Praetors on the same battlefield with like 100 Astartes or 200 Astartes at max, or like Solo Auxilia at 200. You know what I mean. I think one Praetor is well enough for 2,500 points. If you are going up to 5,000 points, I'm out of that range of game. I don't have the time for that. But maybe then you could add another Praetor when you are playing like massive games. So your second HQ you are going to build from the box set is a Legion Chaplain Consul for 105 points with like a power weapon and a bolt pistol, and I personally think you can build another chaplain or a consul out of the second Praetor. The first Praetor I mentioned was the Praetor with the sword and the Volkite charger. The other character I'm mentioning is the one with the two-handed axe. I think due to his totem pole he kind of signifies or could signify a chaplain, and I would definitely never build two Praetors out of the box, because the consuls help you and the chaplain in this case will very much help your big Termi blob, which you are getting from this box set, to get hatred and stubborn in melee, which is just awesome. Speaking of your big Terminator blob, now we are talking about your Terminator squad. The Terminator squad will come in at 445 points, which is just a lot, I know, but they will be your main melee threat up the middle in the board. So I gave the 10 of them 8 power fists and 2 chain fists, one chain fist on the sergeant. Usually I would take more chain fists than that, but since you can punch dreadnoughts with normal fists now pretty good as well, I gave them just a normal fist. Also, they have two heavy flamers. So heavy flamers on Cataphracti Terminators are not useless anymore, because they can actually overwatch because it's a reaction, and also you want to get them close anyway, and heavy flamers with a strength 5 AP4 template are quite strong, so they will burn out either masses of infantry, or they will kill some or cause some wounds on another melee squad that's approaching them in Overwatch. And now the interesting part starts, because I gave the Cataphracti squad the dedicated transport of the Spartan from the box set. This works pretty well because the Spartan has a transport capacity of 26, and it can fit your Cataphracti squad and both characters in the same vehicle. And that's generally what you want to do. You want to have your character in a spot where he can deal the most damage while being protected. And the Spartan with the flare shield, the heavy bolters and the last cannon arrays, and will definitely help your Praetor reach his target and the Terminator squad and wreak as much havoc as you can hope for. What I would not fight with this big blob of units, the Terminator blob as I call them, some people would more commonly call them a Death Star, I would not charge Dreadnoughts with that, because Dreadnoughts are extremely powerful, and if you are fighting a Dreadnought Talon of 2 or 3, you would definitely lose that melee, because even though Terminators have 2 wounds now, Dreadnought melee weapons have at least strength 8, so they insta-give everything. Your Praetor, your Terminators, and your Chaplain, if they don't make their invul saves. A little more tactics on the Terminator squad. You want to drive them up to the biggest threat and try to eliminate it if it's not Dreadnoughts. So probably a lot of people you are playing against will also have 10-man Terminator squads, because not only are there 10-man Terminator squads in the box set, but there will also be more 10-man Terminator squads than before, because we know now, or since the live stream, the Terminator squads will be sold in tens. So the Tartaros Terminators and the Cataphracti Terminators, as well if they are sold separately again, will be sold as 10-man squads. And that's why the Power Fists and the Chain Fists are so good, because as I said, Strength 8 will instantly kill a Terminator, and with a Power Fist or a Chain Fist you are at Strength 8. That also means that you will die instantly, so you maybe have to pick your targets very carefully. Then we are taking our own Contemptor Dreadnought into the fray. This is a Contemptor Dreadnought for 210 points, not 2000, sorry. And he has a Gravis Fist with a Melter in build and a Gravis Last Cannon. I wanted to build the Contemptor as a jack of all trades. So with the Gravis Fist he can fight infantry and other Dreadnoughts okay-ish. It's better when you have 2 melee weapons, but it's not horrible. And with the Gravis Last Cannon you can obviously, with your weapon skill of 5, threaten vehicles with 2 last cannon shots, so I think that's quite okay. You can move your Dreadnought on another flank or behind your Spartan if you wish and cause major damage. That's what I usually do with my Dreadnoughts. I use them to draw fire elsewhere, so the main breakthrough unit of the Spartan does not get all the attention. Now we are coming to the troop section within the Horus Heresy. This is a little more boring than everything else. The first tactical squads is just all bolters, holding your objectives, doing nothing else really. The second tactical squad is all bolters with chain bayonets, so if you find the need for them to move up and take an objective, they can definitely cause some damage with the chain bayonets. With the second tactical squad, This sergeant has a little more bling with a power fist and a plasma pistol, and everyone else in that squad has a chain bayonet. The first tactical squad is 100 points base, the second is 120, and the third is 148. And I don't like big tactical squads blobs because you can't transport them. So if you want to get rhinos for these squads afterwards, you can, because they are all 10-man squads and you can transport them in rhinos. Maybe at one point we get the long rhino, which was like in one card game of Horus Heresy ages ago, but we don't know yet. So you can't reliably transport 20 tactical marines without sinking loads of points into a Spartan or a Storm Eagle. That's why I leave my squads at 10 mans. The list I've built you from the box set alone is 1695 points. That leaves us with 805 points to reach 2.5k. Obviously, as I said before, you want to paint the box set first and then get more stuff. Also, to reach the 2.5k, I will include some models which haven't been released yet, but we know that they will be released, like the Predator and the Leviathan Siege Dreadnought. So for the first heavy support choice of our army, we will have the Legion Predator Squadron. Obviously, now you may think, well, Dantiok, Predators, there's so much cooler stuff in the Horus Heresy than Predators. But the Predator kit is lovely. Have you seen the trailer? It has so many options. I think it's very cool, and if you don't want to take it, replace it with something else. No one can stop you. This is just a suggestion. So I gave you a Predator squadron here with 2 Predators. They have Gravis last cannons and last cannon sponsons and searchlights. Searchlights obviously always on vehicles, because if night fighting happens, which can be every game because it's random, you can still fire your long-ranged weapons against enemies that are farther away than 24 inches. Yeah, 24, sorry. So the Predator squads, last cannons, and Gravis last cannon to hunt enemy tanks. With our list, even though the last cannon array is 4 last cannon shots, when I played with it, the Spartan didn't do that much, so I think you need a little more range support, and that's why I gave you the Predators with the last cannons here. Then you might think, Dantiok, you only have 30 Marines from the box set used. Why is that? Didn't you want to have 4 tactical squads? No, I used 1 squad of tactical Marines as support squads, which I think is nice. I did that for my Ultramarines as well. I didn't give them rotary cannons, but the squad for you, I gave them rotary cannons. And this is the reason why. They have a weight of attacks, so they shoot many times, they are pinning, and they are shell-shocked, which means they increase or they decrease the enemy morale check or morale if they are checking for pinning, which is awesome. If you can pin an enemy squad, it's basically not useful for one whole turn. They can't move, they can only go to ground, and they can only snap fire. So if you are pinning an enemy heavy weapon squad, which generally has heavy weapons, that hurts even more. So I think rotary cannons, even though I gave Sing always a little bit of flack for that, rotary cannons actually have a good use in the Horus Heresy now. And the last but not the least, the mighty Leviathan Siege Dreadnought. This one is a little bit bare bones because we didn't have the points at the end of the list building anymore, but he will only have a claw and a drill. Obviously, what you can do is you bling your sergeant out in the 3rd tactical squad a bit less, because he's just a tactical sergeant. Obviously, you don't want him to cost 50 points or something. Then you can give the Leviathan obviously a Phosphex discharger and Volkite calivers in the hull. but as it is for the list I built, he just has a claw and a drill. Why the claw and the drill and not two of one weapon? I can easily tell you that. If you are trying to destroy a vehicle, you want to have the drill. If you want to fight a dreadnought, you want to have the claw. And because you have two melee weapons, you get one extra attack anyway. So I wouldn't, outside of style, go for twice the same weapons. And I think this list will bring you to 2,490 points. So as I said, take some bling away from the Sergeant, add some stuff to the Leviathan Dreadnought, and then you have an awesome list. But the list I gave you, I think, is also very cool and will teach you a little bit of the nooks and crannies of the Horus Heresy game. So yeah, I think it's a good list. And after that, so the criteria for this list were only plastic models, only models that have been released by GW, hopefully until October, and the box set. Obviously now you have reached 2,500 points. You maybe have painted your legion enough that you can say, okay, I am good enough to paint more ostentatious legion units for my army now, which I think is a good point to learn your color scheme first before you want to buy expensive Forge World models. And I think the legion specific units also hit more into the niche of a specific legion. That means they are way more harder to use than the generalist Astartes units. So this is just my advice for a new player. I would just try to learn the game first before you try to get the specific units. So thank you all for listening. I hope you have a good start to the week. Stay healthy, keep the heresy train rolling, join the Discord, like, comment and subscribe, you know the drill, and bye bye.